neither burglary involved violence. Kagan said ambiguity surrounding the crimes of violence provision created confusion in lower courts. Kagan wrote, "Does car burglary qualify as a violent felony? Some courts say yes, some say no." Kagan mentioned other examples including evading arrest and trespassing, in which courts have also been divided. The court's ruling will not affect a number of serious crimes including murder, rape, counterfeiting, or terrorism offenses, which are specifically listed in the law as grounds for deportation. That could limit its impact, though the government does not provide data on which crimes trigger the most deportations. Immigration attorneys are uncertain how many pending deportations will be affected by the ruling. Gorsuch, in a concurring opinion, wrote that the American colonies in the 18th century cited vague English laws like the crime of treason as among the reasons for the American Revolution. It was not entirely surprising that Gorsuch would break with the four other conservatives on the court and vote to strike down the provision. Gorsuch interpreted the immigration provisions based on the original understanding of the Constitution, a view held by many conservative jurists. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Researchers at Princeton University's Department of Sociology have made a major leap in our understanding of social interaction.
We conducted trials in 90 supermarkets across the country and found that essentially 100% of people disapproved of having a stranger hit them across the face and then expose their genitalia right in the middle of the supermarket, which we found very interesting.
Researchers observed similar reactions when the subject hurled shopping carts toward unsuspecting shoppers, stood in the deli section rubbing cold cuts against his chest, or got right near cashier's ears and began loudly singing Yankee Doodle.
In this particular trial, we had our subject, Kevin, take off his shirt, tape a banana to his forehead, and charge at various shoppers like he was a rhino. Within 20 minutes, store owners called the police and he was arrested, allowing us to come to the conclusion that this type of behavior is still considered at least somewhat taboo.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome into this Wednesday night edition of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And tonight we are supposed to have on with us the guys from the Bad Crypto Podcast. We're going to have them on hopefully with us during our crypto hour this evening. I've been keeping an eye out. We rescheduled that interview from last week for this week. So hopefully they'll be popping their heads in here around 5 o'clock this afternoon. But until then, it's me and, well, it's Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method. How you doing tonight, Chelsea?
Pretty great. How are you?
That's another day in the life. Can't really complain. Still trying to sell this. We got a basically when we first moved here, this guy, some friends of ours, they donated like a whole house worth of furniture to us.
Oh, cool.
But we weren't able to actually get to it because they live in Boston and we live here until after all the snow and everything. So.
Wait, is the snow gone?
Yeah. So by the time we were able to get it last weekend, we'd already bought all that stuff. like I can't go without beds in my house, like, while I wait. We were originally supposed to get them in December, and one of the people one of this couple, they got really, really sick and couldn't come. So we were stuck, like we moved out of the hotel to move into the house, and I gotta have beds, man. I can't just not have beds. So we went and got all that. So now, like, all of that furniture I still ended up with it, but it's all stacked on my porch, which is enclosed and climate controlled and all that kind of stuff. But we've just been trying to sell it for, like, basically next to nothing. Like, look, are you a family that doesn't have and needs bedroom furniture? Well, here, like, it's the bed, it's the mattress, it's the box spring, it's the furniture that goes with it for almost nothing. Just come get it the hell out of my way. I'm not gonna give it to you. You're gonna have to pay something for it,
Sure.
And
you dirty capitalist,
yeah,
you.
I know. And so it's just sitting there. But outside of that, everything's wonderful. I'm just tired of looking at this pile of furniture. And finally, one of these guys, like 2 weeks, a week now, he's been telling me he's going to come look. Finally, today, he's like, I'll be there in an hour. And I was like, oh, well, awesome. I'll be going live on the radio in an hour. So, like.
Ah, perfect.
Glad you could be on time. Thank you for sending me a message at the time you were at the deadline for the time you're supposed to actually show up. So it's just been one of those weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got the guys from Bad Crypto Podcast coming up a little later. But first we're going to get into some of those great news stories. The ones that make you want to pull your hair out or grab your closest government agent and pull his teeth out. This one coming from the Associated Press. Title, Lawyer. According to lawyers, journalist was detained by ICE because of reporting. Lawyers for a journalist who was arrested in Tennessee and then placed in an immigration detention facility said Monday that the government was trying to suppress his reporting and violated his right to freedom of speech in the press. Attorneys with the Southern Poverty Law Center have asked a federal court to release Manuel Duran Ortega, a reporter who was arrested earlier this month in Memphis during a demonstration that coincided with days of remembrance of the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King in that city. Duran, Duran, 42, was working for Spanish language media Memphis Noticias. I hope I said that right. And has written stories raising questions about local police and their cooperation with federal immigration officials, one of his attorneys at the SPLC stated. He has since been critical of law enforcement. He has been critical of law enforcement in his reporting and was targeted and retaliated against for that reporting, says Michelle LaPointe, a senior staff writer. A senior staff attorney, that is. A spokeswoman with the Memphis Police Department and a federal immigration office official insisted that Duran's journalism had nothing to do with his arrest and detention. U.S. immigration officials maintain that Duran's immigration status was flagged to them only after he was arrested by local police. Mr. Duran Ortega was ordered to removed from the United States by a federal immigration judge in January of 2007 after failing to appear for his scheduled court date. A statement from Brian Cox, a spokesman for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, said he's been an immigration fugitive since that time. Mr. Duran Ortega is currently in ICE custody pending removal. Duran was lawfully arrested by officers. A Memphis police spokeswoman said, quote, "At no time did we target individuals based on their criticism and or opinions of the Memphis Police Department," Lieutenant Karen Randolph said in an email. At no time do we see court documents allege that Duran was unlawfully arrested April 3rd when he was reporting on a protest of immigration policies. Disorderly conduct and obstruction of a highway charges were dropped, but the reporter was picked up by immigration agents after he was released from jail. So basically, the accusation is that a reporter who was critical of the Memphis Police Department was arrested because he was critical of the Memphis Police Department.
Yeah, one thing, so disorderly conduct in and of itself is very vague. Personally, and this is just a me thing, obstruction of a highway is a thing that really gets my goat. Like, people who stand in the middle of a highway, I think realistically that should be perceived as like an initiation of force against me in my life. I kind of get really angry about that. So if he was doing that, I lose like a little bit of sympathy. But like, if the charges were dropped, and that's one place where it's like, okay, why are you arresting people in the first place if you're going to turn around and drop the charges? Yeah. And so things like that, it always does kind of make you wonder.
Gives that impression of political
motivations. Yeah. Right, exactly.
We're at least going to shut you up for the day.
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
drop the charges. It'd be like if Fred Hampton was giving a speech and the police came in and arrested him and then they let him go tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's really, fundamentally not the way that our law enforcement system is supposed to work. Supposed to work. And so, that aspect is pretty.
Again, we have to remember our law enforcement system is not supposed to shoot protesters in the face with tear gas canisters, but sometimes.
Yeah. Well, they're not supposed to do a lot of things.
There's a lot of things they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to throw flashbang grenades in a crib with a 2-year-old, but
they're not supposed to kill people who aren't firing at them.
Yeah.
So
there's lots of rules. Well, I guess that's what happens when you have the Israeli military doing training exercises where they literally fly American police officers to Israel to learn how to be police officers in America the way that the military polices an occupied society in Palestine.
Yeah.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Catch the Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. The Call to Freedom is the only live drive-home call-in show in the U.S. with a segment devoted to cryptocurrencies. Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, live from Vertcoin Studios in New Hampshire. Learn about what makes cryptocurrencies so great and why you should care about them. Updates on new coins and ICOs, and warnings of scams. Plus, hear from traders, whales, developers, and big names in the crypto world. You can also win crypto coins or tokens every episode. Just listen for the faucet sound and be the 5th caller to get free Dash, Litecoin, Vertcoin, Verge, or other cryptocurrencies. The Call to Freedom with Will and Aria, featuring Crypto Hour. Broadcast internationally through our BitPlus network satellite. Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN FM.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
So we're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And I'm wondering, are you new to the crypto game? Are you wanting to get involved? Do you want to get invested? Well, you know what? Let me tell you about an awesome opportunity. It's called Helium.com. It's a savings accelerator, and it is powered by Uphold.com. And what they've done, they have designed a bot, and it watches the values between regular fiats and cryptocurrencies, and then it moves your money when the timing is just right. You just charge up the account. You can use your bank card or a crypto wallet. And then, you just set it and forget it. It's like a crock pot for cryptocurrencies. Everything is completely automatic. Sorry. Helium lets your money move you. So go on over to heliumwithane.com. That's heliumwithane.com/CTF to get a great deal for being a Call to Freedom listener. So we've been talking about this story here, and it literally looks like a targeting for political reasons. They arrest a guy and then drop the charges. And I've seen this in other protests that I've been involved with, where you'll be out there protesting something, then they just don't want you protesting it. And so they'll arrest leaders or they'll arrest people in the protest, and then they let them go tomorrow. And basically all it really does is it breaks things up so that the cops don't really have to do their job, and everybody goes home early.
And realistically, you have to wonder, as this article is clearly suggesting, you have to wonder if part of the intention of those actions is to then run the person's name through the system and just see if anything pops up. Oh, yeah. Just to spread that fear of, if you do something wrong, like we might not catch you at first, but you better not cause any trouble because then we're going to get you, right? And so, constantly just making people toe that line.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. And you see that now. I mean, that's the way law enforcement is done, basically, in general. Like, why it's not it's no longer a ticket quota that you have to worry about with the police. It's a contact quota, which, in all honesty, I believe is worse, because at least with a ticket quota, they're supposed to be actually like watching for ticketable offenses. But with
Wait, what is the contact quota?
A
Is
contact
this a thing?
quota is where yes, it's a thing. The police departments, when ticket quotas were outlawed in many states, they created what they call contact quotas, which are a little bit different. And what a contact quota is that you have to come in contact with X number of civilians per shift.
What?
So it's no longer you have to write X amount of tickets. It's X amount of civilians. And the more people you come in contact with, the more likely you are to find a ticketable offense.
How is that in any way like what we want police to be doing? I want police to be in the background. I want them to not like talk to me and disturb my life, and I want them to protect me without like getting up in my business. I mean, that's just not even close to what I want. Why would anybody think that it's a good idea to force police officers to interact with people who seem to be doing nothing wrong?
Well, I mean, this is the whole idea of ticket quotas, right? It was something.
Well, that was annoying in and of itself, yeah.
And they still exist. They're still out there. You have people say, "Oh, they don't," and then like usually it's the police department that barks the loudest that they don't have a ticket quota. That like a few months later, some cop goes public with like video of a captain barking at people about not hitting their ticket quotas.
Yeah, such as it is.
What they've done is they've figured out a way to change that. And just change one word in it, and now all of a sudden it's completely different. It's not the same.
And honestly, I think worse. Maybe worse. I can't really decide.
It is worse because what they're doing is now the idea is like, well, we're not going to write you a ticket, but we're going to run as many people's names through NCIC as we can to see what we can bounce on. So, can we arrest you for an unpaid parking ticket?
Right.
Just because, you're walking down the street and we've decided you look suspicious today. Or I got pulled over on a contact quota. I had a crack in my taillight. Now, the taillight wasn't broken. There was just a crack in it, a line. And
so it's still functional.
And there was no white light showing through the line. It was just a line where you could tell that the lens had cracked. And I got pulled over for that.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Because I got over too soon. I was coming up to an intersection, and instead of waiting until I got all the way to the intersection to get over, I saw there was a line of 6 cars in front of me that were most likely going straight, so I got over early into what was a turn lane. And that was suspicious, according to the police officer, because he was 2 car lengths behind me. He then ran a red light without his lights on in order to chase me down to pull me over for this contact quota he had to reach. And, well, I mean, it just so happened I had a couple grams of medical cannabis on me and don't actually drive with a driver's license. But, yeah, well, I don't drive anymore because that was like the, I don't know, umpteenth time that I'd been caught driving without one. So, and they will straight send you to prison for driving with no driver's license if they catch you doing it enough times.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, yeah. But literally a crack in my taillight gave him the ability to stop. And that's why. Is they're like, well, if we can get you pulled over for a muffler that we've said is... I got pulled over one time. They were like, your taillights are out. And
they weren't.
They weren't. They weren't out at all. Like when they were like, we're giving you this ticket. We're not going to take you to jail. We are giving you a court summons. And then and we're going to wait until they get here. And then when my wife got there, because my wife and kids were all sick with the flu, was the reason why I was driving. So now she's got to get up. We got to call my mom and have my mom come to the house, watch my flu-ridden children while she comes to pick me up and drive our car home, and then take my mom back to pick up her car that she has to come to pick the van up in. And guess what? When she got there, guess what? The taillights worked just fine.
Go figure. But Will, if only you had just registered to have your rights to drive a car, then everything would have been fine.
I tapped my brakes because I thought I might be speeding as I drove past a police officer.
Yeah.
And that was suspicious. So he got behind me and pulled me over for having no taillights. Not for speeding, because I wasn't speeding. Not enough to get pulled over. Because, I tapped my brakes. So he had nothing to pull me over for.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and I am joined live via remote this Wednesday afternoon by Miss Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method. And, well, as you can hear, it's apocalypse, man. Godzilla is coming to get you. Run, scream, scurry in the street like rats and roaches because Americans are dumb, panicky animals. The next story we wanted to get into here, this coming from Reason Magazine, says, hey, just relax, man. You're probably going to survive until tomorrow. Americans have a poor sense of risk, and media panics, well, they don't help. An area man will be lucky to be alive until tomorrow. Well, sounds like a headline in the satirical newspaper The Onion. But plenty of area men and area women could be forgiven for thinking that just that. Americans often have a poor idea of the risks that they face, and plenty of people seem to delight in keeping the public scared. Earlier this month, New York Times published an opinion column on formaldehyde in your e-cigarettes. It noted that, quote, in public health circles, people now tend to call electronic cigarettes by what they do, deliver nicotine. Thus, the term electronic nicotine delivery system, ENDS for short, has come into vogue. Really?
No, there's no chance that anybody's calling them that.
When the hell, for real, yo, when the hell did that happen? Because I got a lot of friends that vape. I don't vape. Well,
Me too.
I vape, but I have a kind pen.
But not with, different.
Yeah, it's a different thing. But Aria vapes, I've never heard her say, like, I got to go get me a new ENDS, man.
Yeah, because that would be preposterous if people said that.
Somebody spent too much time listening to music in the late 90s. ENDS.
That was not a good time for music.
Oh, my God. I say, well, but the author, an assistant professor of public health at Harvard, confesses that, quote, I have a problem with that name. Nicotine isn't the only thing e-cigarettes deliver. They also deliver formaldehyde, a carcinogen, and it seems equally fair to call them electronic formaldehyde delivery systems.
But you see, the thing is, EFTZ would not be quite so vogue.
Right? EFDS. Eat. Well, I remember, what was it, ESD? I remember that from high school, from like...
What's ESD?
I can't say it on the air.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But it was like a thing that kids used to say to each other in like 5th grade. Like, you're a...
Oh, I feel like I can probably piece this together.
Right.
I see.
You're a duty head. Oh, well, really? Well, ESD.
I see.
That kind of thing, yeah. It says, EFD just has too much ESD sound to it. This sounds bad. Awful, in fact. But while the piece notes that manufacturers are not intentionally putting formaldehyde in electronic cigarettes, the chemical forms as a process of heating the liquid in them. It never says how much formaldehyde an e-cigarette delivers. The closest it comes to is sometimes a lot of it. But how much is a lot? And how much of it is a lot of it? Well, one of the studies the column cites found formaldehyde in 10 puff aerosol generated from newer e-cigarettes ranged from 8.2 micrograms to 40.4 micrograms. Another study found up to 626 micrograms of formaldehyde per cubic meter of e-cigarette vapor. Fair enough, but formaldehyde is not exactly rare elsewhere. It shows up in significant amounts in vaccines, up to 100 micrograms in the DTaP vaccine given to children, for example. The FDA says formaldehyde has a long history of safe use in vaccines, and that formaldehyde
that is so funny to me.
Is produced naturally in the human body as a part of normal functions. It also says the cancer risk is highest when formaldehyde is inhaled. Then again, highest is not the same as high.
Yeah, and I think that this mincing of words is just, it's so indicative of everything in politics these days, right? Like you always use the word some because some can mean any number that's more than one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some could refer to 2, it could refer to 8 million,
Actually,
and you don't have to have
some
any
is
data.
any number more than 0.
Yeah, right. I mean, really, right.
Some could be 0.06 micrograms.
Right. Or it could be, 5, any number. And then you say, oh, well, many, that you use the word many. Well, many doesn't really mean anything either. And you say, oh, few, very few, very few. Oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. So you keep going.
You're giving away all of our advertising trade secrets.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, Lord. Formaldehyde shows up in food as well. The American Council on Science and Health cites European research showing that apples contain as much as 6.8 milligrams, not micrograms, milligrams. 1 milligram equaling 1,000 micrograms. So 6.8 milligrams of formaldehyde per kilogram of apples. Potatoes contain 19.5 milligrams per kilogram. Should we refer to vaccines and potatoes as formaldehyde delivery systems?
Yes, definitely. That sounds awesome. Let's scare all the people.
Before conservative opponents of regulating e-cigarettes start feeling superior, though, they should ask their friends on the right why they made Kate Steenel into a household name. Steenel was killed in San Francisco by an illegal immigrant who'd been deported several times. And she was turned into a martyr by opponents of sanctuary cities, of which San Francisco is one. Thing is, cases like Steinel's are exceedingly rare. In fact, undocumented immigrants commit crime less than half as often as native-born Americans, and the homicide conviction rate for undocumented immigrants is 25% below that of native-born Americans. The homicide rate for illegal immigrants is 87% lower.
For legal immigrants.
Legal immigrants, my bad. For legal immigrants, it's 87% lower. This suggests that one way, albeit a flippant one, to reduce violent crime in America might be to deport 2 American citizens for every immigrant, legal or illegal, who enters the country.
I absolutely love this idea.
Or
it sounds so great.
Take terrorism as well. Reaction to which has given us the Patriot Act, Guantanamo, waterboarding, the TSA, police militarization, and domestic surveillance that makes Facebook's data harvesting look like the magic X-ray glasses they advertise in comic books. Or, yet, how big is the terrorist threat to the average American? Vanishingly small. For the 4-decade period from 1975 through 2015, odds of an American dying in a terrorist attack carried out by a foreigner on U.S. soil have been 1 in 3.6 million. If that foreign terrorist is a refugee, the odds drop to 1 in 3.64 billion. And if that foreign terrorist is an illegal immigrant, the odds fall to 10.9 billion.
Wow. I mean, that's actually even bigger than I would have guessed. Although it does make logical sense that if you are here illegally, for the reasons we just discussed, you're going to want to avoid committing crimes because the police might arrest you just because and then find out that you're here illegally.
By contrast, the odds of being killed by a wild animal, 1 in 30,000. In 2014, terrorists killed 17 Americans in the U.S. That same year, lightning killed 25, dogs killed 36, and animals and other dogs, other than dogs, killed 83. By contrast, on Friday, thousands of people here in Richmond, Virginia will march against school gun violence. A commendable cause for sure, but how many of them realize schools are more safe?
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Disclaimer. When I die, I want to be put into orbit around Earth in a flying kick position. This is my dream. My dream. My dream. My dream. My dream. This is my dream.
All right, welcome back into the final segment of this first hour of our Wednesday edition of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And we're talking about Chicken Little politics. That's right, Chicken Little politics in America. Everybody's scared. Everything is the apocalypse. The sky is constantly falling. Well, if you're speaking to someone in the partisan duopoly, it is at least. Either scary brown people are coming to get you, or, well, everything is racist. That seems to be your option. Police violence against police officers is at an at a multi-decades low. Yet, according to some people, there is currently a war on police. Add to that a school is safer than it's been in 25 years. And we have protests of children marching for their lives. So, this is the henny penny politics of America today. What do you think contributes to it the most, Chelsea?
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, is it the rights groups or is it the media? Is it a cross between both? Because, take the Burn the Quran guy, for example, right? You remember that guy?
I do not.
Okay, well, back in 2010, there was this guy in Florida, and he was like, I'm going to buy a pallet full of Qurans and set them on fire. And all these Muslims got all bent out of shape and all out of whack because some idiot was going to dispose of Qurans in a Sharia-compliant manner. But he was going to do so with bad intentions. So, basically. So, basically, this guy was going to give a Muslim company money to show the world how much he hates Muslims and then dispose of the book in a Sharia-compliant manner. And instead of ignoring him, CARE made him a national name at the water cooler, and his book that had sold 4 copies was a New York Times bestseller.
Of course it was.
And it literally happened in the course of about 2 weeks. He went from this pastor in rural Alachua County whose church was him and 7 members of his family, and they made him into a national icon.
So that's interesting. Right. In that particular case, I mean, I do think that in general in schools, we don't really ever learn the teaching of strategy, actual argumentative strategy. I work with a lot of students, obviously, and plenty of my students do debate, debate club, debate team. But the debates are basically done in this stupid timed way where the whole point is just to make as many pre-processed and then spit out points as you can in some particular amount of time. But there's no thought as to what will actually persuade the other person and what you should or shouldn't say and what you should withhold in given moments based on political strategy. And so, I mean, I'm not sure if this is everywhere and for everything. I think that the school gun violence might be a bit different. But in that particular case, it seems to be just a lack of strategy, right? Because really, you might be upset about somebody doing something that kind of hurts your feelings, but on that level, and when you're looking at actually organizing about something, you really should have enough foresight to see that that's exactly where that would have led.
Oh, it was national news for 3 weeks.
I believe that, absolutely. And that's where
a solid 3 weeks in his case, and then here's the best part: the imam at the mosque across the street from my house at the time goes up there and says, look, I get it. You're mad about this mosque in New York City, and what we'll do is I will tell the imams not to build it. Like this this Orlando imam who was specifically told by the Gainesville Muslim leadership to stay his ass in Orlando, and came up anyway. Not only came up anyway, but didn't go to the mosque in Gainesville, didn't talk to the community there, just came up, created his own little media circus, and then was like, I will get them not to build the mosque in New York City. And wait, what? Why? Are we giving up property rights now because people say mean things? What the hell is wrong with you? It was this huge mess, and it literally could have all been avoided if this guy who had 6 followers and nobody had ever heard of before had just remained some idiot with 6 followers that nobody ever heard of before. Oh, this guy's doing something. I'm offended by it. We should put them on the national TV. No, you idiot. You should allow him to continue to maintain his absolute, what's the word I'm looking for?
Obscurity.
Obscurity. Thank you. He is not an issue. Nobody cares about him. Nobody knows or gives a damn about his opinions. Can we leave it that way? No, because we want a bigger medal in the Victimhood Olympics. So point a camera at him so that I can cry about it for 3 weeks. And then when it was all over with, some idiots in Pakistan burned down a damn a UN building and killed 3 people that had nothing to do with it at all when it was all said and done with. So what did you accomplish? You tried to make Muslims out to be victims, and in the process, you made us all look terrible.
Yep.
You incited the teddy bear rioting idiots overseas, just like you knew this was. I mean, you people were going on TV saying, if you do this, then dummies in Afghanistan will do this. Yeah, do you not see your own culpability in the fact that he wouldn't be anybody had you not went outside and yelled, the sky is falling for 3 weeks solid?
But it is really good strategy, and the flip side, to use that to your advantage and to be as offensive and as incendiary as possible and to draw as much attention to yourself, because in politics, oftentimes, like, all attention is good attention, right? And this is a thing that some people in this party happen to know very well, but and everyone seems to play into.
They don't seem to understand. I mean, you've got half the people in this party that are like, no, we need somebody that's like, the only attention that he gets is because he's just like everyone else. No, man, I'm sorry.
Well, you're not going to get attention for being just like everyone else.
Exactly, and this is a
That's
new
not how
day,
it works.
man. This is a new day. Baby boomers are on their way out. The Gen Xers are on their way out.
And honestly, a lot of older folks really actually respond to a lot of these things, right? A lot of older folks are sick of this stuff too. And they're tired of it.
BS. That's right.
Because they have a better BS sense than we do, because they actually grew up with any kind of education at all. It didn't suck so bad.
Right? Oh my God. The education system now is so bad compared to what it was when my grandmother. I mean, my grandmother's talking about, like, they learned Latin in high school. They had rifle ranges.
Wait, really? That's awesome.
If you were 25 years, if this was like 1970 and you'd graduated high school at my grandmother's high school in the 50s, then you knew how to break down, clean, and put a rifle back together.
That is
like a
great.
22 rifle. You knew how to clean it, and like they taught life skills.
I mean, it's long been my opinion that the Second Amendment doesn't just give us the right, but also the responsibility to be, like, well-equipped to defend ourselves and things like that. So,
but you don't see schools teaching life skills. Like what? I had a high school. This is the one time I saw it, and the class is gone, and it was something that you could take instead of an English class, and it was actually looked down on. It was like the remedial type class, and I was like, no, this is like a life skills class. I want to take this as a senior in high school. I want to take this class. And basically they taught you how to balance a checkbook. They taught you how to handle bills. They taught you how to, like, do it during tax time. They were teaching you how to fill out your own tax forms and stuff. Like it was a class that it was a high school class that taught you things that were actually useful in the rest of your life. Things that you were going to use. Like I've been in my life so far. I've been a professional DJ for 6 years. Then I worked in construction and did certified new home window, hurricane window installation until the economy crashed in Florida. Then I had to go back to college to get a new degrees in education and theology. And now I'm a radio show host. And guess what I did not use in any of that time? A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah.
I never, ever used the Pythagorean theorem or any of the other useless crap that I was taught that I had no interest in when I was in high school. Anyway,
although as a tutor, I do have to defend some elements of math and reading.
Well, because most people don't. If you go into a profession that uses it, great. But the average guy...
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, April 18th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.13 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,353 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $33, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,096. Antiwar.com reports a group of senators are proposing a new authorization for the use of military force to replace the existing one. This would clarify that force is authorized against the various militant groups, including the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban, but would not authorize any attacks on any nations, including Syria. This is seen as an effort to make it more clear what Congress intends to authorize, as the 2001 AUMF has been used by all subsequent presidents as a virtual catch-all for launching new wars without a congressional debate. The new authorization for use of military force is backed by senators from both parties, including Senators Bob Corker and Tim Kaine. The new AUMF does not try to set an end date for war, but would seek a congressional review every 4 years. This, too, is something novel, as the past AUMFs have been treated as essentially permanent war against various factions. Previous suggestions of a revised AUMF have tended to be opposed by presidents who see them as necessarily limiting their power. The Trump administration has long expressed opposition to an authorization for use of military force with any limits. The Obama administration felt much the same, initially bragging their proposed AUMF was even vaguer than the first one. When Congress tried to revise this, the administration quickly turned on the proposal as a threat to national security. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports Sun Country Airlines canceled its last flights out of Mexico due to weather and told U.S. passengers with a return ticket they'd have to find another way home. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reported the airline said the canceled flights were the last of the season and added it did not have another flight to reaccommodate passengers. Sun Country offered passengers a refund for their return portion of the flight, but said they would be responsible for finding a return ticket through another airline. Kelly Dodson-Smith, the airline's vice president of marketing, told the Star-Tribune the company could not send another plane because doing so would cause more scheduling problems. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a U.S. law requiring the deportation of immigrants convicted of certain crimes of violence is unconstitutionally vague, according to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on Tuesday, in a decision that could hinder the Trump administration's ability to step up the removal of immigrants with criminal records. The court, in a 5-4 ruling in which President Donald Trump's conservative appointee, Neil Gorsuch, joined the 4 liberal justices, invalidated the provision in the Immigration and Nationality Act and sided with convicted California burglar James Garcia de Maya, a legal immigrant from the Philippines. The ruling, written by Justice Elena Kagan, was decried by the administration, which has defended the provision. Federal authorities had ordered de Maya deported after he was convicted in 2 California home burglaries in 2007 and 2009. Neither burglary involved violence. Kagan said ambiguity surrounding the crimes of violence provision created confusion in lower courts. Kagan wrote, "Does car burglary qualify as a violent felony? Some courts say yes, some say no." Kagan mentioned other examples, including evading arrest and trespassing, in which courts have also been divided. The court's ruling will not affect a number of serious crimes, including murder, rape, counterfeiting, or terrorism offenses, which are specifically listed in the law as grounds for deportation. That could limit its impact, though the government does not provide data on which crimes trigger the most deportations. Immigration attorneys are uncertain how many pending deportations will be affected by the ruling. Gorsuch, in a concurring opinion, wrote that the American colonies in the 18th century cited vague English laws like the crime of treason as among the reasons for the American Revolution. It was not entirely surprising that Gorsuch would break with the 4 other conservatives on the court and vote to strike down the provision. Gorsuch interpreted the immigration provisions based on the original understanding of the Constitution, a view held by many conservative jurists. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Sea anemones are the most disgusting of all tidal creatures. Their thick tentacle arms are engorged with the collected urine that makes up much of tide pools. Whale urine, fish urine, otter urine, crab urine, all sucked up by the moon and deposited in these natural outhouses. Clownfish share a symbiotic relationship with sea anemones. The clownfish cleans the sea anemone. In exchange, the anemone sprays urine on the face of the clownfish. It's one fetishistic delight. Contrary to popular belief, sea urchins are not in fact animals. Indeed, they are not alive at all. They are simply the clumped-together leavings of the ocean's denizens.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com on the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's time for the... Jeez, what a day. All right, guys. It's time for the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've got one heck of a show lined up for you today. We brought the guys on thanks to a suggestion from High Tech Hate in the Discord chat. And remember, if you have cryptocurrencies, ICOs, or anything related to the crypto economy or the crypto space that you'd like to hear on the Call to Freedom, you'd like to hear, get an opportunity for a national radio audience, just send us an email at Will, that's Will, W-I-L-L, Will at calltofreedomlive.com. Just send us an email that way, or you can hit us up on the Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm, and we'll do everything we can to try to get them on. We've actually I want to say this is our fourth this year guest that we've brought on through the suggestion of some of our listeners. This is Travis and Joel from the Bad Crypto Podcast. Now, Travis Wright is a top marketing technologist, an author, a keynote speaker, blockchain advisor, a tech journalist, and a growth hacker. He's a former global digital and social strategist at Symantec for the Norton brand. He is a co-founder of the CMO and of CCP Digital, a Kansas City and SF-based digital ad and content agency. He is the author of Wiley & Sons Digital Sense, the common sense approach to social business strategy, marketing technologies, customer experiences, and emerging technologies. Welcome to the show, Travis.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
And we also have his co-host for the Bad Crypto Podcast, Joel Comm. He's a New York Times bestselling author, a blockchain enthusiast, professional keynote speaker, social media marketing strategist, live video expert, technologist, brand influencer, futurist, and eternal 12-year-old. I love that line. 2 decades of experience harnessing the power of the web, publishing, social media, and mobile applications to expand reach and engage active relationship marketing. Sought after public speaker who lives his audience inspired, entertained, and armed with strategic tools to create highly effective new media campaigns. Currently co-host of Bad Crypto Podcast, a top cryptocurrency show making the future of digital payments easy to understand. So as you hear by that closing line, they are a show after our own hearts. They're a show trying, the way we put it is we want to bring blockchain technology to Joe's six-pack. So we want to welcome you guys to the show. And I wanted to, we were supposed to have Aria with us from cryptocurrencycheck.org. Listeners out there, guys, I'm really sorry. She's still at the hospital. And we're waiting to hear some news. She's been there since 11 today, and we haven't heard any real updates. So once we have an update for you guys, we will let you know. But it's me solo with the guys from Bad Crypto Podcast today. What do you guys think of the new Verge announcement?
I'm wondering how long it's going to take before he regrets having us on, Travis.
Right. I think he was like midway through and he was going through our bios and he was like... And then they were
maybe not. Well, okay. So first of all, have you talked about the news about Verge at all? Or
we have. I'm a Verge holder. All the coins that the show holds as investments are privacy coins. We're a voluntarist show, so coins that try to keep your privacy and the prying eyes of the government out of your business are, something we usually support. So whenever Verge or Zencash or Z Classic or Monero have big news, we usually cover it. But, we have investments. So, of course, we have biases. So what about Bad Crypto Podcast? What do you guys think?
I have no bias. I'm not actually holding any Verge at the moment. So, and I'm not a Pornhub customer either. But I am very much aware that the porn industry is usually on the leading edge of technologies, and whether people like it or not, much of what we use on the internet today, including live streaming, and even e-commerce, really is a hat tip to the porn industry because they're the ones that pioneered this stuff.
Right? Yeah, and I'm looking forward to investing more in pornography. Is that? With Pornhub, so I'm really excited about that. It's one of those things. I've at times held Verge and then let it go. The thing that got me was that there's kind of like one main developer working on it, from what I understand. Yeah. And there's just been some things that have made me a little uncertain about Verge overall. And so I got rid of most of my Verge whenever this thing pumped. And then how the thing was hacked not long ago, right? And the price still went up. It was being hacked and like fake Verges were being created. Yeah. And then the price went up and I was like, oh man, that price went up. And so then I got rid of most all of mine then, and then they came out with the Pornhub news.
Well, there was a bug in the way I understood it was there was a bug in the programming that was allowing a malicious miner to change the timestamps on a block and basically create fake coins from already mined blocks by changing the timestamp to an hour before and themselves to the person rewarded. It got reported in the media over and over and over again as a 51% attack, but timestamp because of bad programming versus 51, it's like they're literally
that's
not
the problem
the same
to me
thing.
is that there's only like one dude working on it apparently, and he needs to get some more people. And the project used to be, wasn't it like Doge Dark or something originally? Dogecoin Dark, yeah. So it has an interesting back history. I wish them well. I mean, I have a buddy of mine who got in early December around like 2 cents or something, and then it took off to 30 cents. So he was really happy.
I think the funny thing is how they announced it. You know, they're like, who can we go after that would be the most opportunistic person right now that would somehow, you know, be a perfect fit for announcing our Pornhub and Verge partnership. And of course, Stormy Daniels was the one that, you know, they picked on. And I'm sure that, you know, she said, yeah, they said, we'll give you 10 Doge. Yes. She, like
that's what we've been saying is like the biggest announcement was that now you can give yourself a handy while you watch Stormy Daniels give herself a handy. And the only way you can pay for it exclusively is with Verge.
Wow, that's handception.
It is. It's handception.
Great.
That's all I have to say about that.
See, you guys thought you were coming on like a professional radio show or something.
Dude, it's like, here, let's talk about this topic that you may or may not know anything about.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So, but now, do you believe it's as revolutionary? Because for me, I thought that they were kind of selling the lead a little bit with the whole like, oh, it's revolutionary.
No, it's not revolutionary. You're taking payments with crypto.
Yeah.
It's what, woohoo! That's never been done before. You know, it's kind of funny if you go to the Bitcoin subreddit. You see that people are always posting photos now of the different cities and locations around the world where Bitcoin is being accepted, and they're popping up like crazy. You know, so this is nothing new. It's just new for the porn industry.
Exactly. All right. Well, when we get
back, that porn music in the background that you got started?
All
right. Well, when we get back, guys, you're welcome to call in and talk to these folks. This is the gentleman from the Bad Crypto Podcast. We've got Joel and Travis on with us. Give us a call, 603-283-6160, or hit us on our Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm. We'll be right back.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Coming up a little later, the 10 best careers for someone at your level of attractiveness.
Oh, but right now we have something truly incredible for you. Kenneth Quinn is a real-life psychic medium who claims that he can communicate with dead acquaintances. He's written a new book. It's called Small Talk from Beyond, Speaking with Distant Relatives and Friends of Friends Who Have Passed.
Hi, Kenneth.
Good to see you. Now, Kenneth, you've written that you're able to connect people with the spirits of their old college professors or roommates that they didn't really know that well. When did you realize that you had this gift?
Well, it was the day after my cousin's friend's wife's funeral. I was at home and I suddenly felt a presence in the room with me. And I heard a voice say, "It's Vicky. Vicky Solchek, Dale's wife."
Wow.
We made a Tim's birthday thing a while back, and we talked about how hard it is having a cat.
Fascinating.
This has been so amazing.
This has been fabulous. Thank you, Kenneth Quinn, for being our guest. Stay with us because coming up next, we're going to show you how to lose some of that excessive weight by constantly picking at your skin.
This is the Onion News Network.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom, brought to you by Helium.com. Unasikiliza Crypto Hour inayohusu wito wa uhuru, imeletwa kwako na Helium.com.
All right, welcome back here to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Vertcoin studio right here in our crypto community in Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? We tell you all the time, you should come up here and visit. You should come up here to live. And you can have a great opportunity coming up really soon to do just that. You can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians this summer for Fork Fest from June 14th through June the 18th at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Now, Fork Fest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and you're invited to come create whatever experience you'd like others to have. Fork Fest is completely decentralized. That means no one's in charge, so everyone's in charge. It's up to you to create what happens. Or you can just sit back, relax, grab a cooler, pitch a tent, throw out a lawn chair, and relax in the woods with some great Liberty lovers. Go over to forkfest.party to learn more, join the Telegram chat group, or the online forum. Again, that's forkfest.party. Come out, spend some time this summer. It's the week before Pork Fest, and you can hang out with all of your favorite LRN.FM hosts. So we're joined today on our Crypto Hour by the gentleman from the Bad Crypto Podcast. We've got Travis and Joel on with us, and we were just talking about the Verge, Stormy Daniels, Pornhub announcement that
Travis and Joel had to go. Is now Alexei and Sergey.
Right.
Здравствуйте, как дела? Что ты делаешь сейчас? We are back from our hacking session. We are ready back to speak. Yes?
We have hacked your Verge and your Pornhub and now hacking Stormy Daniels. Thank you.
Yes. Очень хорошо. Спасибо.
Yes, we do take calls from the Discord line. If you go up to the Discord line and you just click on the on-air call-in thing, if I'm paying and stay there for a minute, if I'm paying attention, I will come in and bring you on the air. You can also give us a call at 603-283-6160, or you can hit us up if you want an even clearer sound through our Skype line at LRN.FM studios. Again, as I said, we've got the guys on from Bad Crypto Podcast. Now, I want to know, we have a lot of discussions here on mining as far as ASIC versus GPU, because as you hear and when we come back from commercials, our studio here is sponsored by Vertcoin, which is a GPU ASIC resistant coin that is their whole community is built around resistance to ASICs mining. Do you guys have like differing opinions on that? Is that a debate you guys have on your show? What's the Bad Crypto Podcast opinion on the GPU versus ASICs mining supremacy battle?
We actually haven't dove too deep into this topic. This is, we've had some people ask us to cover it, but Travis, we haven't really talked too much about this, but you probably have an opinion anyway, because you always have an opinion.
Well, that is one of those things that mining is an expensive adventure, and you really most people who are doing that are super technical and putting their stuff together and figured out. So I mined my first Bitcoin back in 2010, right, and on my laptop. And that thing made my fan on my laptop go crazy. But I was able to mine 50 Bitcoin back in the day. And then I also went to like a Bitcoin faucet where you go to the site once a day or a couple times a day, and they would like give you a little bit of Bitcoin.
You were able to lose them also.
I was able to lose all of them too, because my laptop fell apart, and then I forgot that I had any Bitcoin on there because they weren't worth anything then. And so that's pretty much as much mining as I've done. I did 55 Bitcoin, and then I lost them. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to invest and get the ones that I want to have and not build a big mining equipment deal. So
you're like, I'm just going to buy silver instead.
Yeah, actually, I started buying silver instead of crypto when I should have been buying crypto instead of silver.
I did the same thing, yo. I've got a friend, he worked at antiwar.com as an author, and they were paying in Bitcoin way back in 2010. And he was telling me, because I've been a silver bug for a long time, and he was telling me, like, you should diversify more. You need to buy some of this. You need to buy some Bitcoin. And back then, Bitcoin was worth basically nothing.
Nothing.
And
less than like sub $1 or something.
Yeah,
sub
like
$5.
65 cents,
65 cents. Ugh.
So I'm like, you know what, man? I don't really want to invest in Microsoft Gold, because that's when I saw it. Like, I had just gotten an Xbox 360, and it had, like, when you played games, these little Xbox Gold coins that you would earn for doing different things, but there was literally no way to spend them. And that's how I looked at Bitcoin. It's like, so you want me to actually pay for money I can't use? Just something I can't do anything with? And I wish I'd have known now, man.
Well, your silver is up today. It passed $17 an ounce again there. So
yeah, but it's still less than half of what we bought it for in 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
But you got some booty there for when the prices go.
Yarg, mateys. We be having some silver, though.
2 years ago, I started dealing silver at these festivals and stuff, because I bought a bunch of it when it was down at like 13. And just
you're like a silver dealer. It's like, hey, come on, man, check out my silver.
I do, man. I go to these like Liberty festivals and the big, like blockchain events. People still buy it if you've got cool, especially if it's cool stuff like legalized marijuana or anti-government or that kind of stuff. People will buy it, and they'll give you like $25 an ounce for it, even when it's like 17 if it looks really cool.
Well, I think precious metals are fun. Both Travis and I like to, buy a little bit. And we just actually recently, I think it was Golden Eagle Coins came out with 1 ounce silvers with representations of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Neo, Zcash, Monero, Ripple, and I think there's one more.
Neo,
Fed.gov.
Litecoin, Monero.
Yeah, there's 7. Yep. Yeah, that's them right there. I hear Travis messing with them, and those are fun. They're just, it's kind of cool. Like, hey, look at my Bitcoin.
Right.
It's not really a Bitcoin.
I've got friends of mine that have the real Bitcoin coins that still have a coin on the wallet that's connected to it, that they were selling for like $15,000 a piece, even when the spot price was like 10 grand, just because of the numismatic value of it. Because
numismatic.
It's automatic.
It's numismatic. It's silver crypto.
It's Greece Dogecoin.
We're gonna bust out that song. I literally almost busted out in the song there, but I had to refrain myself.
I'm holding the new Dogecoin from the Shiba Mint. ShibaMint.com. I don't get, there's no like affiliate link, but they mint a
ShibaMint.com/BCP podcast. Bet crypto.
Yeah, they mint a coin every year, and I've got a copper-plated one, Year of the Doge 2018, right here in my hand.
I'm going to have to get my hands on one of those. I'm a big Doge fan. Well, when we get back, guys, we're going to have more Frivolity with the guys from the Bad Crypto Podcast. You're welcome to get involved. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. We'll be right back.
Stay
back. Freedom.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.FM. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour، يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.FM.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium. 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be colorified to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
That's right. It's the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are smack dab in the middle of another Crypto Hour here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And we are joined by the gentlemen Joel and Travis from the Bad Crypto Podcast. Thank you guys again for joining us today. And
we're happy to be here.
So how do you like the
jingle?
jingle?
I am. Travis isn't.
You know, I love the jingle. I was like, that is
awesome.
some 80s goodness right there.
I loved it.
Call to freedom. Yeah.
I told him, I was like, look, I want real American heroes from Budweiser crashes into Van Hagar. And that's what they came up with.
We could do we should do a Budweiser spoof, but we should do with the frogs. Be like bad crypto,
right? That'd be great.
Bad crypto.
And the last one would go, what's that? Bitcoin. Like that's the wrong reference.
Wait, what was the name we talked earlier, Travis? You said some guy joined.
His name was Lamboshi.
Not seriously, right? Please tell me not seriously.
Yeah, his name was Lamboshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
That was good. We are off the rails already. Sorry, audience, for listening.
Okay. Our audience is like totally at home right now. They're like, off the rails. That's where this show lives.
Nice. Well, we invite people to come listen. Badcryptopodcast.com. We're like in all the places, and we relish the thought that people actually enjoy hearing us ramble on about crypto.
Well, I mean, you're here because we had more than one listener come to us because we take suggestions from our listening audience because we have quite a lot of people in like our Discord and Twitch because that is the place for crypto talk nowadays.
So two listeners. More than one.
Right. All two of them.
Two of them said.
Right. So we had some listeners that came to us and they were just like, look, man, we listen to this podcast and, they're perfect fit for the kind of like stuff that you guys do. I'm not talking about politicians getting bukakis from lobbyists today. So it's a tame day that you guys happen to be here. So they were like, these guys are perfect for y'all's chemistry. Unfortunately, the y'all is not actually here today because one of my co-hosts is a lawyer. He is busy. My other co-host is in the hospital today. So you are stuck with boring me.
Yeah, likely story, by the way.
Hear about that.
Nice excuse.
I'm gonna opt out today. I'm gonna pretend like I'm in the hospital.
Yeah, I
That's not
can't
something
make
somebody
it.
would do.
Oh, bad crypto guys. I feel a fever.
That's horrible. She could be in there for something serious. We don't even know. My heart goes out to her. I don't even know what's going on.
No, we hope everything is okay.
Trust me, Aria's not one that you could. Aria's a transgendered woman that is an author and runs a cryptocurrency checking website that makes bad ICOs look like bad ICOs. Trust me, she's hard to offend. Very hard to offend. Now, I've got an article here. I wanted to, we're trying to do a little bit of our normal type, like crypto hour here with you guys with us. I found this personally, really interesting. And when I brought it up to you, you guys said you have a like a crypto online magazine that readers there also found this interesting enough to submit it.
Yeah, we have we use Flipboard, and so the URL to get to that is badco.in, which spells out Badcoin, because we created our own token called Badcoin. So that's our short URL. Yeah, badco.in/flip, and that's where we curate all of our crypto news there.
Very good, very good. Now,
The brothers be flipping for crypto news.
Right. Now, this story is it's about CSNBC's Fast Money. The host, Brian Kelly, has said Bitcoin, well, it's like the internet of the 1980s. Brian Kelly of CSNBC's Fast Money compared cryptocurrency to, quote, the internet in the 1980s, emphasizing that Bitcoin is still in its early stages in an April 13th interview on CSNBC's Trading Block. When asked about Bitcoin's potential, Kelly answered that while he used to see crypto as comparable to the internet in 1995, he now understands that a better comparison is further back. Quote, I think that this technology is going to work. It's going to be game-changing, but it's in its very early days. So now we have this massive volatility. Kelly compares Bitcoin to early internet companies Cisco and Microsoft, equating Bitcoin with Cisco's router and internet protocols. However, Kelly underlines that it's incorrect to think of Bitcoin as a company or a stock. Quote, this is an open source software. You can't think of it as a company, and that's where people make their mistake. This is not a stock. This is not a company. So, to me, this is a really big guy in the financial world, and we're finally, instead of having these big name naysayers that are coming out and my Bitcoin is dead for the 258th time, we finally have somebody that's coming out and speaking a little bit of rationality, going, Bitcoin's been declared dead 260 times almost, and people thought the internet was never going to be anything. You have Paul Krugman, literally the same exact people who are saying that Bitcoin is dead, like Paul Krugman, who said that the internet would have the equivalent of the fax machine's influence on the market, which, as we can see, that is about as intelligent as his broken window fallacy that somehow won him a Nobel Prize.
I think even Tim Draper said that Bitcoin could hit 250,000 by 2022, and I'm pretty sure he said that if it didn't, he would eat Brian Kelly's member. So,
well, everybody loves a good spotted dick. Just grab a can of it at your local grocery store. It's got a blue label.
I thought they came in a bag.
Right.
Yeah, they can. It's a bag of dicks. I don't know if you realize that. It's a whole bag. They're like baguettes.
It's just like here's the thing. So I was actually, I'm pretty old. I'm not a grandpa like you, but I am pretty old. And I had my first computer in 1980 and was dialing into BBSs that year at 300 baud. And I built my first website in 1995. There's no doubt in my mind that this feels like the very early stages, that the way it kind of felt for me when I started my first website, and we saw that first boom happen around 1997, 1998, leading up to the first .com bubble burst in 2000. But the thing that brought the web to the masses is the very thing that has not yet really come to fruition with Bitcoin. And I think somebody else, one of our other guests on our show, Travis, framed it as the Netscape watershed moment. right? That there was maybe 10 million people that were accessing the internet and using the web in this text format, but it wasn't until we had a graphical browser that made it accessible and easy for anybody to browse this content that it blew up, and we had hundreds of millions and then billions of users. And while there are some companies that are attempting to make crypto easy to use, it's not happened yet.
Yeah, we actually just had a great guest on that's coming on our Monday show. We interviewed Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, and he has a great analogy about that, talking about how whenever he was working at a telecom company back in the early 80s, he showed people the internet, and people would stand up and they were wowed at looking at the internet, even though it could only connect to 3 sites. Now, people are that excited about blockchain, but not as many people know about it yet. So it's still early. It probably is the mid to late 80s.
Very good, very good. Well, we're here. You're hearing Travis and Joel from the Bad Crypto Podcast. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
My personal position on the death penalty is this. We know for a fact that there have been hundreds of people who have been wrongly convicted for various offenses. People who were wrongly convicted of murder and who were sentenced to death, who have later been exonerated. And from that, that, we can deduce that there have been innocent people who were executed for crimes they did not commit. And the fact that I do consider myself to be consistently pro-life, I don't support using taxpayer funds to kill any human at all, anywhere. Using any money that is taken by force and then used to murder people is wrong.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. Online at fppradio.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And it's the final segment of the Crypto Hour on tonight's live Wednesday drive home broadcast. You're welcome to call in if you'd like. You can, if it's legal at least, give us a call, 603-283-6160, or you can hit us up on our on-air call-in line on discord.lrn.fm, or if you want a really clear sound, you can hit us on Skype at the LRN.FM studio line. We've been joined today by Joel and Travis from the Bad Crypto Podcast. So, and I'm sure you guys I've enjoyed it. You know, I mean, Bad Crypto Podcast, Bad Crypto Radio, you mix it together, something that sucks as bad as The Room. Therefore, it's awesome.
Well, we kind of named Bad Crypto because when we were starting, we weren't really, fully fluent in the ways of the blockchain yet. But our idea was we're going to teach as we go along, and we got better.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what we do.
The blockchain. You do not understand the ways of the blockchain, young Padawan.
Like we have one of our co-hosts, Mike Laurie. He's the CEO of Galactic Systems, and he's also the co-creator of BitGold and Tokens VC, which were like precursors to Bitcoin. So like we've got a guy on the show that is an old crypto head from way back, and then we've got Aria, who's on every night from cryptocurrencycheck.org, and she runs a website that basically checks It's like a crowdsourced consumer protection website where they check cryptos and people report to them scams, and they go out and they investigate different cryptocurrencies and rate them on a graded scale of like, this is a crap coin, don't put your money in it or you're going to be scammed, or this is a good thing and here's why. And then there's me who I like to make money, but as far as the tech stuff, you're lucky I was able to write you guys an email.
But we're really grateful that you were able to write that email. It was the best email. No one writes email better than you. I can assure you. I read a lot.
We like the crypto news. Not so much the mining tech and all that, but we like tracking the coins and we like tracking what's happening in the blockchain atmosphere. In fact, I've got a story I just saw from today. If I can,
you guys brought your own story, which is I'm loving it. Please do.
It's actually a different one than the one we talked about during the break, because I think this one's even more interesting.
Cool.
In New York, they made that regulation, the bit license regulation, right? Which basically told people in New York, if you want to do Bitcoin, screw you, right? This is not a friendly location for Bitcoin. And apparently New York's Attorney General is putting out a questionnaire, an inquiry that they're sending to different exchanges. And the CEO of Kraken's one of the ones that got out of New York. And the guy's name is Powell. What's his Jesse Powell. He's the CEO. And he said Kraken's bit license prompted exit from New York in 2015, pays another dividend today. I realized that we made the wise decision to get the hell out of New York 3 years ago, and that we can dodge this bullet. So basically, they're not. He said, no, we're not answering your questions.
Very good. See, New Hampshire's law is literally the exact opposite of the New York bit license. Here in New Hampshire, you have a huge community of crypto advocates. You've got Bruce Fenton that lives here. You've got the LRN studio here, which has been promoting cryptocurrencies for at least 8 years now. You've got the blockchain. You have a blockchain conference here. There's 2 major conferences that have been pushing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain technology for at least 5 or 6 years. So like there's so much. And now you also have legislators who are hardcore pro crypto folks. Like when I went to the New Hampshire Blockchain and Digital Asset Conference at the end of December of last year, and there were 3 sitting state house reps who were at the event as fans and attendees. So New Hampshire is literally the opposite of New York as far as the crypto like laws and stuff. Our laws here are, you want to do crypto business? Come on.
Come on. If you want to go hang out with some trees, come on. If you want some maple syrup, come on.
You guys should just come up here, and then you'll know what it's like to live in like an atmosphere where cryptocurrency is like everywhere.
So it is kind of like Cryptopia.
It is. You've got three towns here that have a flourishing cryptocurrency economies. You have Portsmouth, which is basically becoming a Bitcoin tourist area. You have an entire downtown section that takes cryptocurrencies, centered around a little Bitcoin store that doesn't actually accept Bitcoin. They only accept Dash and Bitcoin Cash now.
Aha. Nice. Well, there's so many different, debit cards that have popped up that allow you to kind of switch between different cryptos and stuff. And so, with some of them like Bitcoin, I don't really want to spend my Bitcoin on payments. I look at that as digital gold. I like to hold that. And the transactions take so long, I don't want to spend that. But if you're using something like Stellar, or you're using or Dash, or you're using something like Litecoin where you see the transaction like almost immediately, then that's like, when you get to that zero latency transactions, that's when, especially when 5G is coming, right? Because we're literally sitting 18 months away, 24 months at the most in some different areas where 5G is going to roll out. And 5G is a 20 to 30 gigabit connection to your phone, to your computer. Like I'm in Kansas City, so I have Google Fiber. It's a gigabit, 1 gigabit. Within 2 years, we're going to have 30 gigabits coming to our phone and every device connected. And then digital money is obviously going to be super relevant, especially when we get to that time where Bitcoin does it halves again and less reward, and the price takes off again like it does every time it halves. I just think that 5G and that the future of digital money looks good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to be in Portland, Maine this fall to speak at a conference that's happening up there. So I might have to take a little jaunt. It looks like it's just 52 miles from Portland to Portsmouth.
Yeah,
I want to take a jaunt.
Yeah, and while you're there,
Jaunts with Joel. That should be your travel blog.
You know what? While you're there, get me your information. Get me some contact info and stuff like that. I'll set you up with the guys who basically they built what they call Bitcoin Village, which is a group of businesses that are built around, it's called the Bitcoin Shop. And it's these 2 guys, they opened a little store basically to promote cryptocurrency. And they designed an awesome point of sale system for multiple cryptos called AnyPay. And I can set you up with them. You can go down there.
Bitcoin Village. Do they stand around, hold hands, and chant Satoshi Nakamoto?
Right? They go around and they market Bitcoin. Well, they market Dash, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash as payment options to businesses all over the Portsmouth area.
It's Bcash.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a really, really, you totally threw me off on that one. It's a really, really successful venture. They are starting to catch up with Keen, which is saying something.
Cool. I'll have to check it out.
So yeah, I'll definitely get you in touch with
Joel
those guys.
coming up soon to Portsmouth.
Definitely.
Now we got just under 2 minutes left, guys. Give us the pitch. Where can we learn more about you guys? What websites should we head to? What time is your show on? Is there a call-in line? Give us a sales pitch.
So many questions. I'm overwhelmed. BadCryptoPodcast.com is the official website for the show, and it is a show that we do on average 4 episodes per week, and it's distributed through the usual podcast channels: iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, SoundCloud. We used to be on YouTube, but they suck, and so they banned us for no reason, so we're not there anymore.
Do suck.
But we're all the other places, and people seem to like the show. I don't know why. I think it's Travis's good looks.
I think it's Joel's dosatones. And actually, between both of us, we've written 16 books. And so, I mean, he's written 15. I've written 1, but it sounds much better when we combine them. And makes me sound more intelligent. I like that. And so, you know what? We're having a lot of fun on Bad Crypto. You can actually call us. We won't answer, but you can leave a voicemail. It is 708-885. So was it 9030?
Yeah. Or write us badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. And we
follow us on all the social channels. We're all there. You can message us.
Yeah, we welcome with open arms all peoples from all places of all faiths and all descendancies to the Republic of Bad Cryptopia.
Very good. It's been a pleasure having you guys on. Thanks for coming and joining us tonight. Would love to do it again in the future. If you guys have a chance, just let us know. We'll be back after this this commercial break with, well, today's news, and you're stuck with me, Will, your regular co-host. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Call to Freedom.
Right, you got to stay bad too.
Yeah, make sure you stay bad.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, April 18th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.13 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,353 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $33, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,096. Antiwar.com reports a group of senators are proposing a new authorization for the use of military force to replace the existing one. This would clarify that force is authorized against the various militant groups, including the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban, but would not authorize any attacks on any nations, including Syria. This is seen as an effort to make it more clear what Congress intends to authorize, as the 2001 AUMF has been used by all subsequent presidents as a virtual catch-all for launching new wars without a congressional debate. The new authorization for use of military force is backed by senators from both parties, including Senators Bob Corker and Tim Kaine. The new AUMF does not try to set an end date for war, but would seek a congressional review every 4 years. This, too, is something novel, as the past AUMFs have been treated as essentially permanent war against various factions. Previous suggestions of a revised AUMF have tended to be opposed by presidents who see them as necessarily limiting their power. The Trump administration has long expressed opposition to an authorization for use of military force with any limits. The Obama administration felt much the same, initially bragging their proposed AUMF was even vaguer than the first one. When Congress tried to revise this, the administration quickly turned on the proposal as a threat to national security. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports Sun Country Airlines canceled its last flights out of Mexico due to weather and told U.S. passengers with a return ticket they'd have to find another way home. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reported the airline said the canceled flights were the last of the season and added it did not have another flight to reaccommodate passengers. Sun Country offered passengers a refund for their return portion of the flight, but said they would be responsible for finding a return ticket through another airline. Kelly Dodson-Smith, the airline's vice president of marketing, told the Star-Tribune the company could not send another plane because doing so would cause more scheduling problems. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a U.S. law requiring the deportation of immigrants convicted of certain crimes of violence is unconstitutionally vague, according to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on Tuesday, in a decision that could hinder the Trump administration's ability to step up the removal of immigrants with criminal records. The court, in a 5-4 ruling in which President Donald Trump's conservative appointee, Neil Gorsuch, joined the 4 liberal justices, invalidated the provision in the Immigration and Nationality Act and sided with convicted California burglar James Garcia de Maya, a legal immigrant from the Philippines. The ruling, written by Justice Elena Kagan, was decried by the administration, which has defended the provision. Federal authorities had ordered de Maya deported after he was convicted in 2 California home burglaries in 2007 and 2009. Neither burglary involved violence. Kagan said ambiguity surrounding the crimes of violence provision created confusion in lower courts. Kagan wrote, "Does car burglary qualify as a violent felony? Some courts say yes, some say no." Kagan mentioned other examples, including evading arrest and trespassing, in which courts have also been divided. The court's ruling will not affect a number of serious crimes, including murder, rape, counterfeiting, or terrorism offenses, which are specifically listed in the law as grounds for deportation. That could limit its impact, though the government does not provide data on which crimes trigger the most deportations. Immigration attorneys are uncertain how many pending deportations will be affected by the ruling. Gorsuch, in a concurring opinion, wrote that the American colonies in the 18th century cited vague English laws like the crime of treason as among the reasons for the American Revolution. It was not entirely surprising that Gorsuch would break with the 4 other conservatives on the court and vote to strike down the provision. Gorsuch interpreted the immigration provisions based on the original understanding of the Constitution, a view held by many conservative jurists. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
You are nothing more than the reflection of a grim, pitiless world, and this is The Onion Week in Review. Following the Supreme Court's ruling on same-sex marriage this week, overjoyed gay couples in Florida rushed out of their homes to have their marriages denied to them. Homosexual couples throughout the southern state told reporters they were ecstatic over the landmark decision supporting gay rights and said they couldn't wait in line and have their requests to be wed rejected by their home state. And in science news, scientists probably discovered a frog or something. They're always doing that sort of shit. In other news, an 8-year-old boy surprises his Marine father during a firefight in Afghanistan. Johnny Depp is now physically unable to walk unless whimsically teeter-tottering across a rolling log, wobbly plank, or swaying beam. And Silvio Berlusconi is transferred to a steamy, all-female penitentiary. If you're seeking a celebrity interview, stay away from that bastard Tobey Maguire, who apparently can't even pick up a phone to say he has a schedule conflict and won't be able to make it into the studio. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio, and it's time for the final hour of this Wednesday afternoon drive home broadcast of the Call to Freedom. We had the guys from Bad Crypto Podcast on. It was definitely an enjoyable experience. And now we are moving on from Crypto Hour back into our, news and commentary discussion that we do in the last hour of the show on a normal day. And this day we're going to be talking about selling arms. I've got a story here from myseas.org. Don't all grab your torches and pitchforks at once. It's called Donald Trump and the Art of the Arms Deal. It's one of those stories of the century that somehow never gets treated that way. For an astounding 25 of the past 26 years, the United States has been a leading arms dealer on the planet, at moments in near monopolistic fashion. Its major weapons producers, including Boeing, Raytheon, and Lockheed Martin, regularly pour the latest in high-tech arms and munitions into the most explosive areas of the planet with ample assistance from the Pentagon. In recent years, the bulk of those arms have gone to the greater Middle East. Donald Trump is only the latest American president to preside over a global arms sales bonanza. With remarkable enthusiasm, he's appointed himself America's #1 weapons salesman, and he couldn't be prouder of the job he's doing. Earlier this month, for instance, on the very day Congress was debating whether to end U.S. support for Saudi Arabia's brutal war in Yemen, Trump engaged in one of his favorite presidential activities, bragging about the economic benefits of American arms sales that he's been promoting. He was joined in his moment of braggadocio by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the chief architect of that war. That grim conflict has killed thousands of civilians through indiscriminate airstrikes while putting millions at risk of death from famine, cholera, and other natural disasters caused at least in part by the Saudi-led blockade of that country's ports. Now, I'm going to interrupt the story here just to remind the readers out there, this bombing that's been going on in Yemen for years now has been listed in court as the instigating factor, the inspiration for more than one attempted terrorist attack right here in the United States. The underwear bomber who set himself on fire on accident on an airplane after being told over and over again by his father to the feds that he was possibly a danger and they shouldn't let him on an airplane. He tried to blow up an airplane one Christmas, and when in court they asked him what his motivation was, he said the dead and crying children in Yemen. That was then linked to Anwar al-Awlaki, the proof of which was never shown to the public, and then he, his son, and his 9-year-old daughter were all three separately targeted and murdered by the United States government, all United States citizens. Now, you can argue that the father may have been guilty of some crime, but please explain to me what a 9-year-old girl who was just barely a year old when her father was killed, or a 16-year-old boy was guilty of. Now, back to the story here. The Washington-enabled humanitarian crisis provided the backdrop for the Senate's consideration of a bill co-sponsored by Vermont Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, Utah Republican Senator Mike Lee, and Connecticut Democrat Senator Chris Murphy. It was aimed at ending U.S. mid-air refueling of Saudi warplanes and Washington's additional assistance for the Saudi war effort, at least until the war is explicitly authorized by Congress. because everybody knows it's not killing brown children that's immoral. It's killing brown children without the consent of Congress. Now, the bill generated a vigorous debate, and in the end, on an issue that wouldn't have even come to the floor 2 years ago, an unprecedented 44 senators voted to halt this country's support for the Saudi war effort. The bill nonetheless went down to defeat, and the suffering of women and children in Yemen continues. Debate about the merits of this brutal war, well, they were the last thing on the mind of a president who views his bear hug embrace of the Saudi regime as a straightforward business proposition. He's so enthusiastic about selling arms to Riyadh that he even bought his very own prop at the White House meeting with bin Salman, a U.S. map highlighting which of the 50 states would benefit from pending weapons sales to the prince's country. You undoubtedly won't be surprised to learn that Michigan, Ohio, and Florida, the three crucial swing states in 2016's presidential election, were specially highlighted. His latest stunt only underscored a simple fact of his presidency. Trump's arms sales are meant to promote pork barrel politics, while pumping up the profits of U.S. weapons manufacturers. And as for human rights and human lives, well, who cares? You undoubtedly won't be. To be fair, Donald Trump is hardly the first American president to make his business to aggressively promote weapons exports. Though seldom a highlighted part, seldom a highlighted part of his presidency, Barack Obama proved to be a weapons salesman par excellence. He made more arms offers in his 2 terms in office than any president since World War II, including an astounding $115 billion in arms sales to Saudi Arabia for their war with Yemen. For the tiny group of us who follow such things, that map of Trump's only underscored a familiar reality. On it, in addition to the map linking U.S. jobs and arms transfers to the Saudis, were little boxes that highlighted 4 specific weapons worth tens of billions of dollars. 3 of those that included the THAAD missile, T-H-A-A-D missile, the THAAD missile defense system, the C-130 transport plane, the P-8 anti-submarine warfare plane, and Bradley armored vehicles were in fact completed during the Obama years. So much for Donald Trump's claim to be a deal maker, the likes of which has never been seen before. You might, in fact, say that the truest arms race these days is between American presidents, not the United States and other countries. Not only has the U.S. been the top world arms exporting nation throughout this century, but last year it sold 1.5 times as much weaponry as its closest rival, Russia. It's worth noting that 3 of those 4 Saudi deals involved weapons made by Lockheed Martin. Admittedly, Trump's relationship with Lockheed got off to a rocky start in December of 2016 when he tweeted his displeasure over the cost of the company's F-35 combat aircraft, the most expensive weapon program ever undertaken by the Pentagon, and by the way, actively promoted by Grand Poobah of pacifism Bernie Sanders. Since then, however, the relations between the nation's largest defense contractor and America's most self-involved president, well, they've warmed considerably. Before Trump's May 2017 visit to Saudi Arabia, his son-in-law Jared Kushner, new best buddies with bin Salman, was put in charge of cobbling together a smoke and mirrors, wildly exaggerated $100 billion plus arms package that Trump could announce to Riyadh. What he needed was a list of sales or potential sales that his father-in-law could boast about, even if he had to claim to have made the deals that were actually made by Obama. So when we get back here, we're going to have more than just me in the studio, thank goodness. And we're also going to continue with this discussion of Trump and his, well, he's great at making deals that are paid for in the blood of women and children. We'll get into that when we get back here on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom, live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, lucky y'all, you are not stuck with listening to me ramble on for the next hour. I've been joined in studio by Mr. Daryl W. Perry from the Liberty Lobby. How you doing today, Daryl?
Well, I'm a little tired right now.
Yeah, I know. You just got home from a how many mile run?
5-mile run, 2-mile walk, 3.5 mile bike ride.
There you go. You're training for like that Ironman thing that you're doing, right?
No, not training for an Ironman. Right now I'm training.
Spartan? What was it?
Well, I just signed up for a Spartan that's next spring.
Oh, okay.
Right now I'm training for a half marathon coming up in about a month, and I'm also training some people to do a couch to 5K. So I'm, like in my first coaching sessions, if you will. Not that I'm a certified athletic.
Couch to 5K.
So that's somebody that has not done any kind of physical stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I've done
and then you
stuff.
train them to wind up being able to run a 5K.
I quit smoking like almost a year ago. I would probably be a good idea to.
So there's a 5K coming up July 14th that's not too far from here that right now I've already got, I think, 5 or 6 other people signed up to do, and we're all going to compete as the Porcupine Athletic Club.
Very
so
cool.
If you're interested, then I can give you the plan, and you can walk the 3.1 miles if you need to. There's no rule against walking.
Take my wife and the 2 oldest kids can walk it while I try to run it. There's no reason we couldn't just push strollers and.
Actually, I believe this particular race has a no strollers on the course policy.
Okay.
Yeah, some races allow strollers, others do not.
Okay.
And this, because it's like some dirt roads and whatnot, it's not a stroller-friendly.
Well, I have a four-wheel drive stroller, so
yeah,
it's like meant for off-roading and going camping and stuff. Because I'm a hick, so I bought one for that. Now we've been talking here before you got in here with us, Daryl, about this story from Mises. And of course, when I said it was Mises, the first thing I said was, don't everyone grab your pitchfork and your torch right away. Let me at least, tell you the content of the article, because that seems to be the new reaction. And basically, they're talking about how, for 25 of the last 26 years, the U.S. has been the biggest arms dealer on the planet, and now Trump is. But it's always been something that...
Hold on, you said 25 out of the last how many years?
26.
Who beat us in one year, and which year was it?
I don't know.
Because doing reverse math in my head, 26 years ago would have been 1992, but this year's not complete, so 91... Yeah, I guess arguably maybe the Soviet Union in 90, 91, depending on which year they're ending their 26 years on.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. I'm waiting on the computer to quote generate the list. So
all right.
I have to download it and I have to pay for it. Never mind, I don't want the list. But yeah, there's a list that shows you all, and evidently 1 year out of the last 26 years, the U.S. wasn't the top. But it's something that presidents don't really brag about. It's something that gets announced by the media, but presidents don't go out and actively promote that fact.
Right.
Well, that's until Trump. Now we have a president that not only goes out and pours American weapons into the biggest hotbeds of political and violent and religious violent activity in the entire world, he is very braggadocious about it. And even when he met with the Saudi prince last week, he brought visual aids so that we could see just how much which states in the union were profiting from this deal.
Wow.
But it gets better. It gets better. The deal that he was on his tour talking about what the great deal that he'd cut was, well, it was actually a deal that 80% had already been the THAAD missiles, the P-8 anti-warfare submarines, anti-warfare planes, the C-130 transport planes, and the Bradley armored vehicles were actually the sales of were actually completed during the Obama administration.
Of course.
We actually, under Obama, 1 year under Obama, we sold one time. So like we sold $1 billion, then
right.
Russia sold. Well, we sold $2 billion, then Russia sold $1 billion. For 1 year, our closest competitor in arms sales, we sold double what they sold.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate.
For 1 year.
And
that was
I'm
Russia.
curious if you add up, because I know if you add up the spending of the top 10 countries that aren't the United States on military spending, the U.S. spends more than they do combined. So would not surprise me if the U.S. winds up selling more arms than the next 10 countries combined.
Oh, yeah. And you also have to add to that the fact that, like, our arms manufacturers are making weapons that our military says they don't want, and they're making them anyway.
Oh, you mean like that F-35 that I heard you talk about?
Yeah. Well, now, there were members of our government that were very, very adamant they wanted it, like Bernie Sanders.
Oh, there are congressmen that want that thing because it winds up benefiting their congressional district or their state, but the generals don't actually want that thing because they know it doesn't work.
Yeah. Now, going back here to what the Mises article is stating, says, though Saudi Arabia may be the largest recipient of U.S. arms on the planet, it's anything but Washington's only customer. According to the Pentagon's annual tally of major agreements under the Foreign Military Sales Program, the most significant channel for U.S. arms exports, Washington entered into formal agreements to sell weaponry to 130 different nations in 2016, the most recent year for which data is available. According to a recent report from the Cato Institute, between 2002 and 2016, the United States delivered weaponry to 167 countries, more than 85% of the nations on the planet. The report also notes between 81 and 2010, Washington supplied some form of weaponry to 59% of all nations engaged in high-level conflicts. So the United States is arming and funding every militia on the planet, just about. And if they're not arming the militia, they're arming the governments that are fighting against those militias. And this is your tax dollars. Remember, guys, unless you filed an extension, yesterday was Happy Tax Day. So and it's not just your income taxes. If you consume, you are paying for this.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what, guys? Nowadays, keeping your internet and text and voice communication private, and free from the prying eyes of the big bad man in the state, it's getting nearly impossible these days. There are so many different tools in the government's toolkit now. They can subpoena information from places like Signal or Telegram.
Well, luckily, Signal doesn't have any information to provide.
Or they can shut down the centralized servers and prevent you from communicating altogether.
Yeah.
So that's where CryptVisor comes in. It's a decentralized communications platform hosted on the blockchain. You see, CryptVisor doesn't take any of your personal information at all. No phone numbers, no emails, no nothing. So if the feds come snooping around, they don't have any information to give. And there's no centralized server. The entire thing, well, it's hosted on the blockchain, so there's no way they can shut you down. If you want to learn more, please, I implore you, go over to cryptvisor.network. You can learn about their advanced security features and their new CV Pay crypto wallet. Again, that's cryptvisor.network. Your home for a advanced security secured communication platform. So we've been talking about how, Donald Trump is just following in the footsteps of those who've come before him, and that it's nothing new for America to literally lead the world in arms sales. And I actually spoke yesterday about how I hate my money going for that. And you said there's some kind of a tax-free day?
Yeah, well, not tax-free day. I wish every day was tax-free day. But you mentioned that yesterday was, that tax filing day.
Happy Extortion Day.
And I had asked you off the air, have you ever heard of Tax Freedom Day?
No.
And you said you had not. Tax Freedom Day is the day when, according to the Tax Foundation, which calculates this, they say Tax Freedom Day is the day when the nation as a whole has earned enough money to pay its total bill for the year. Tax Freedom Day takes all federal, state, and local taxes and divides them by the nation's income. In 2018, Americans will pay $3.39 trillion in federal taxes and $1.8 trillion in state and local taxes for a total tax bill of $5.19 trillion, or 30% of national income. And as the old saying goes, a trillion here, a trillion there, pretty soon we're talking about real money. This year, so if you wind up taking this and saying, you're going to give all of your earnings to Uncle Sam before you ever get anything, then the average American is going to have to work another day before they actually start making any money. Tax Freedom Day 2018 is April 19th. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
How much money is that? Well, again, $5.19 trillion, but it is more money than will be spent on food, clothing, and housing combined.
By all Americans.
Right. So the average American is going to spend more money on taxes at the federal, the state, and the local level than they will on food, clothing, and housing combined. That is utterly ridiculous.
It couldn't possibly be taxes that are helping push people into poverty and slow down business growth. No, that's not possible at all. That's just ridiculous.
30% of your money is being stolen before you're able to pay for food, clothing, and housing.
All right, now
and then that's not even including the added cost to food, clothing, and housing
of taxes on top
that wind up, being used by the companies to cover their taxes.
Yeah. Because companies don't pay taxes. You pay taxes. Consumers pay taxes.
Right.
Businesses don't pay taxes. If I pay a tax as a person who is, like I own a business, I have a little T-shirt company that I sell T-shirts 2 or 3 times a year at festivals.
Right.
And
you put those costs off to the consumer.
Yep.
And I want to be, make sure that we're clear on something, because there are some people that are going to hear when you say companies don't pay taxes of, see, this is why we need to raise the corporate tax rate because nobody pays blah, blah, blah. That's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
Starbucks, the corporate entity known as Starbucks does pay
a
taxes.
Bill, but they use your money to do it
but
with.
They wind up covering those costs by
with your cup of coffee.
Adding, right, they build those taxes into that $17 cup of Frappy Mocha Latte Chino.
Ugh. That's another thing that we didn't get into that I want to
Frappy Mocha Latte Chinos?
No, just this whole thing with Starbucks, and we're actually going to cover this some tomorrow. We're going to have Imam Zaid Shaker on with us. But just it once again, this whole thing with Starbucks, I think shows it's a new maxim that I made up, and it's called "Some words are worse than murder." And because in America, it has become that some words are worse than murder. And my original statement was that if you're a police officer, you're more likely to get fired for proof or even just an accusation that you used the N-word out of uniform 15 years ago than if you shoot an unarmed black kid in the back of the head.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
If you use a racial epithet.
Well, he did fear for his life when the kid was running in the complete opposite direction and did not have a weapon.
Yeah. If you're a police officer,
I thought the poodle had a gun,
and you used a racial epithet out of uniform 10 years ago, you are going to lose your job. But if you shoot an unarmed black 12-year-old in the back of the head as they're walking away from you, you'll get a 10-day paid vacation.
Right. And then whatever happened to, and I realized this was not a black man, the Indian man from that was in Alabama that did not speak English, and thus did not respond to some kind of weird order by the police.
And they broke his back.
They broke his neck and like partially paralyzed him.
Yeah.
And I believe the police wound up not actually having any kind of real discipline, like
whatsoever.
All right, take a week paid vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Paid administrative leave while we determine that you did nothing wrong.
Yep. Well, this Starbucks thing is just another example of that. You know, you have the CEO of Starbucks who has won what they call the Shield of David Award. And basically what that means is that Starbucks themselves, they don't actively fund the Israeli military occupation of Palestine, but their CEO does. So to say Starbucks does it is dishonest. But you know, if the CEO of McDonald's was David Duke, people wouldn't eat there because of who the CEO was.
Right.
So you've got a guy who actively funds and pays for the subjugation of Palestinian children, the systematic displacement of people from their homes, their property by the Israeli military. That bears literally years of that bears nothing from the latte liberal crowd whatsoever. But a black dude got refused bathroom service after he didn't actually buy anything, and now, like, we need to shut Starbucks down. So, actively fund the murder of Arab children? Yeah.
Right. And
do something racially insensitive to a black guy? Burn the building
well,
down.
We still don't know if the guys were going to place an order when their friend showed up.
Yeah. All we know is that someone was offended by words and a racially offensive thing, and that's what got people to take to the streets, not the active funding of the murder of Arab children. Again, hurt feelings in America are now more important.
Well, the two guys never should have been arrested anyway.
Oh, well, of course not.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
A prison reform group issued a disturbing new study this week calling conditions in women's correctional facilities deplorably unsexy. The report contends that women's prisons are bleak, dangerous environments with shockingly few soapy showers and erotically charged pillow fights. According to the Prison Justice Initiative, quote, "It's a shame that in today's society we still have jails that don't encourage kittenish girl-on-girl exploration. Prison shouldn't be a hotbed of gang violence and drugs. It should be a steamy Shangri-La where caged nymphets discover the sexuality away from the leering eyes of male society." The investigation revealed living conditions that many are calling cruel and degrading, but not in a fun or kinky way. The study's author argues that incarceration should be about more than just punishment.
The purpose of prison isn't just to lock people in a box and forget about them. It's to provide opportunities for naughty girls to play nice with each other.
Next up, a team of jock scientists have reportedly thrown the cure for asthma onto the roof of the lab. We'll talk to the nerds struggling to retrieve it.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the final segment of tonight's live Wednesday drive home broadcast of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So I've been joined in the studio tonight by Mr. Daryl W. Perry from the Liberty Lobby. Thank you very much for sitting in while Aria is out sick tonight. And we were talking about, well, we started talking about Trump and like him being the master of taking credit for the arms deals that Obama brokered. But how that's like not a new thing, you know. America's literally, even sometimes in monopolistic fashion, been the top arms exporter in the world for 25 of the last 26 years, arming and funding oftentimes both sides of some of the biggest humanitarian crises that we've ever seen.
Right, like giving arms to the Islamic State and also the Syrian government and several of the rebel factions, the Kurds and the Turkish military both getting weaponry from the U.S.
Same budget, yeah.
And the Kurds and the Turks don't like each other, and they might wind up fighting. And
the journalist, this is one of the funny. You've got Palestinian journalists that live in Gaza that get funding from the United States, even from Donald Trump himself, that they're there to cover when Israel does stupid stuff like shooting protesters that are 200 feet too close to a wall.
Well, they should have known that they couldn't get within 200 feet of our wall.
Yeah, well, actually, they should have, because the Israeli defense minister straight up said gave an order, all Israeli border snipers, any person doing anything, and they specifically said even nonviolent actions, non-threatening actions within 300 meters of the wall, you have full clearance to shoot them in the head. So if you're a 5-year-old little girl and you're standing 299 meters away from the wall, they can put a full metal jacket right through the top of your skull.
Right, and this is the whole, if an 8-year-old girl steps on your tulips sort of thing that some libertarians love to have the debate about.
Yeah, the moral debate about. And
yeah,
it's a ridiculous moral debate to some people. I mean, it's that whole libertarian macho flash. I think some people just take that completely extreme opinion because they enjoy people going when they say it.
Right.
For me, it always kind of boils down to, for me, because Islam says like it has to be
right.
equitable.
And if I were on a
tulip, then you can step on her tulips.
If I were on a free market jury or even a state-run jury, and I'm, one of 12 people or however many, and I hear the case of some a-hole that shot an 8-year-old girl for stepping on a tulip v. the family of 8-year-old dead girl. Guilty.
I'm voting.
I don't care if there is video evidence of the little girl saying F your tulip and stepping on the tulip. You're a complete a-hole for shooting the 8-year-old girl that stepped on your tulip.
Agreed. Absolutely. Because there's got to be equity. Now, did you go pull the tulips up in her mother's front yard? Okay, that I can see. Does it still make you a bit of an asshole? Yeah, you're kind of a prick. But, it's better than you shoot the kid in the chest with an AR-15.
Right, and I'm going to have to bleep that before it gets archived.
Really? I can't?
You can say ass.
I shouldn't have.
And you can say hole.
Yeah.
But you can't say those two words together.
Yeah. Wasn't even thinking of that.
Yeah.
I'm an ass. I should have.
Yes. And you can say there's a whole ass.
Yes.
You just can't flip the words around.
I can say butthole, and everybody knows that means the exact same thing.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of
Don't you
those
love
weird
the
things
FCC?
of, like you can say certain things and it's okay.
Right. Now, we have to, because people are stupid and clarification is always necessary for the Twitter lynch mob. I don't, think that it was okay that the police were called on this guy. I am a freedom of association and a freedom of business. Look, even if your reason is irrational, stupid, or racist, telling a person they have to leave your business is your right. Period.
Right.
End of story. I don't care what the reason is. If you're an Arab guy running a falafel shop and you're kicking out some guy because he's wearing a I Hate Muslims t-shirt, or if you're a gay dude who runs like a boutique and Stacey Campfield comes wandering in, says he wants his haircut, and you tell him to kick rocks because you know that, like he stated, my religious beliefs means I have to hate gay people. Bro, tell that fool to kick rocks. I support your right to discriminate against anybody for any reason, whether it's rational or irrational, as long as you're not using violence. But
I
once
also
you call
think
the
that you should
police,
wind
you're
up
using violence.
Right. I also think that, if you're going to discriminate against people, you should have a nice list plastered on the front window saying, we don't serve people named Will, Daryl, Ian, Conan, anybody that wears flip-flops, people that wear Under Armour compression clothing, anybody that's ever run a marathon, anybody that winds up putting pineapple on their pizza. Just make a list of all the people that you don't want going to your business, and then I will make sure that I tell people, hey, the guy over there, he's kind of an a-hole, don't shop there, and also he won't sell you food because you probably did something on the list.
Oh, I've said for years, like, I like my racism and my bigotry out in the open. Like, let me know that you don't like me or that you have a prejudice against my family or my wife or my gay friend or, like whoever it is that, if you don't like transgendered people, awesome. I have a transgendered co-host. I have a cousin who's trans. Like, I have lots of people that I care about that are transgendered. So what I'll do is, because I know a person who is such a jerk that they're willing to refuse a profit from someone at a business because they hate them so much, I know that person probably invests the money that they make from their business into efforts to use the state to subjugate or subvert the rights of that group.
Right.
So if you don't like transgender people, put a big sign up that's like, no he, she's allowed. Like, be as vulgar and angry and use insults. Put the N-word on a big board on your front of your business. Please do. I want you to, because that way I can look at that and I can be like, what a jagoff, yo. Like, I am not giving that guy my money.
Right, and I know there's a lot of people that they wind up, and I'm going to draw sort of a parallel here between Chick-fil-A and Starbucks, because there's a lot of people that they don't like that the CEO of Chick-fil-A has donated to anti-marriage equality things, but to the best of my knowledge, nobody at Chick-fil-A that's running the cash register asked, are you gay? before allowing somebody to order a chicken sandwich.
And none of the managers ask, are you gay, before hiring someone to be in any position at the place. I don't go to Chick-fil-A because it's overpriced chicken sandwiches. The only thing good that's on the menu is the lemonade.
I don't go to Chick-fil-A because there's not one within like decent driving distance from here.
For me, it's a chicken sandwich, you know.
It's a really good chicken sandwich.
For a chicken, have you ever seen a box of their nuggets? It's like if you cut the bottom end of your thumb off and fried 4 pieces of it and put it in a box, and they're like, that's $7.69, and I'm like, where's the rest of it?
That's why you get 2 sandwiches, a large fry, and a sweet tea.
And that's like $25 at Chick-fil-A. I'm not paying that. I'm sorry. I'm going.
Right. You've also got 700 children that you've got to feed.
Very true.
You've got to take out a loan to even buy supper.
If I'm going to Chick-fil-A, I'm at the mall. I'm hitting the food court, and it's because I want a lemonade.
Right.
Like, it's been a hot day. I just came inside. I'm pushing around a carton full of kids, and I can get like a gallon of fresh, amazing lemonade for like $2.99. That's the only reason I'm going.
And then you probably go to the Sbarro right across the way.
Oh, no. That's the only thing I ever get at a food court, yo. Unless my kids are like freaking out, absolutely insane, and then they get like maybe a cheese roll-up from Taco Bell. We do not eat food court food. That stuff is poison. It's worse than McDonald's.
Is that halal or haram?
I don't know. It's all questionable. But anyway, yeah. For me, as soon as you call the police, you're initiating violence, man. You know, and that's the point where I'm going to draw the line and be like, look, dude, you're a douchebag.
Right.
All right. You know, you can say mean things to people and be like that, and I'm going to stand up for your right to be a prick. But as soon as you want to call the police and you want to bring state actors who only know one thing, and that's to put people in cages and pull out guns, you lose my support immediately.
And then wind up, in this case, releasing them without any charges.
But we have to acknowledge that latte liberals didn't give a damn about Starbucks when their CEO was funding the murder of Arab children. Now, because they can point and yell racist, all of a sudden it's a big deal. So again, in America, hurtful words are worse than murder. And that's a scary place to be. We'll be back tomorrow, but don't go anywhere because Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by Freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, April 18th, 2018. Silver is trading at $17.13 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,353 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $33, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,096. Antiwar.com reports a group of senators are proposing a new authorization for the use of military force to replace the existing one. This would clarify that force is authorized against the various militant groups, including the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban, but would not authorize any attacks on any nations, including Syria. This is seen as an effort to make it more clear what Congress intends to authorize, as the 2001 AUMF has been used by all subsequent presidents as a virtual catch-all for launching new wars without a congressional debate. The new authorization for use of military force is backed by senators from both parties, including Senators Bob Corker and Tim Kaine. The new AUMF does not try to set an end date for war, but would seek a congressional review every 4 years. This, too, is something novel, as the past AUMFs have been treated as essentially permanent war against various factions. Previous suggestions of a revised AUMF have tended to be opposed by presidents who see them as necessarily limiting their power. The Trump administration has long expressed opposition to an authorization for use of military force with any limits. The Obama administration felt much the same, initially bragging their proposed AUMF was even vaguer than the first one. When Congress tried to revise this, the administration quickly turned on the proposal as a threat to national security. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports Sun Country Airlines canceled its last flights out of Mexico due to weather and told U.S. passengers with a return ticket they'd have to find another way home. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reported the airline said the canceled flights were the last of the season and added it did not have another flight to reaccommodate passengers. Sun Country offered passengers a refund for their return